Today we have a GE dishwasher that when you press start, you get some beeping, three beeping noises and also a flashing LED, often due to a faulty controller which lives down below the door. So here's the part number for the controller. We'll put a link in the description below the video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the box. This will just take you a couple minutes to pop in this new controller. So I open the door so I have a little more room to work. I'm going to take out 2 1/4-inch screws that are holding on this bottom kick plate, and then we'll go ahead and get the kick plate out of there. Below that is a really thick piece of sound insulation, so we're going to just pull that straight out. And then there's 2 gold 1/4-inch screws that we need to remove that are holding the control panel in. I'm going to pull off this one little modular connector below the control. Then I'll zip out these 2 screws. So by having the door fully open, if you have long arms like me, you can reach and still get to these 2 screws. And then there's an electrical box on the right hand side. I need to remove that by taking out 1 screw. And I'll pull that out. And then there's a power connector that brings power into the controller, and I'm going to remove that power controller by pinching in and pulling that down. There we go. So now I can kind of wiggle this controller out of its housing. Those 2 gold color screws were holding it in. And then there's, I believe there's 3 modular connectors that I have to take off before I can pull this out. And you can see them here. Here's the first one. It's this white one. So I'm going to pinch in, wiggle, and pull that off. There we go. There's a white one right here in the middle. Let's pinch in, same thing, wiggle, pull that one off. There's a purple one here, kind of near the back. Same thing, pinch, wiggle that off. I can pull the whole thing out now. So at this point, you may not need a new controller. You may need to just clean these electrical connections with this type of product. We'll leave a link in the description below. Or if you don't have that product, you could try just removing the electrical connectors that are shown in the upcoming part of the video and just putting the connectors back into place and then trying it at that point. Many of my viewers have reported that they just took off the connectors and then reinstalled them, and that was enough to get their dishwasher going again, so worth a try. And to get this out, there's 1 little screw holding it in and some pins, plastic pins. So I'm going to kind of squeeze the pins with my needle nose pliers, and then I'll take out this 1 ground screw right here, 1/4-inch screw. Zip that out, and then I'll just squeeze in on a few more of those pins, and this controller will come right out. GE dishwashers just are not lasting very well. They have little components that keep failing, so they're not the best for longevity, but these parts are pretty cheap. Just kind of a pain in the neck to have to replace them. Squeezing in on this plastic pin, and then I'm lifting up at the same time to get the circuit board out of here. Another pin right there. Okay, there's the old one. Set that aside. Here's the new one. So I'm just going to push it into position, and then I'll push it down on those pins, and they kind of self-lock into position. Just takes a couple of seconds to do it. There we go. I'm going to add that ground screw back in there, the green ground screw with 1/4-inch drive. Get that nice and tight. There There we go. All right, we can put this back in now. I'm going to put on the connectors. There's the little purple one in the back. Push that all the way down. I think I had to turn it the other way. There we go. And we got this white one in the middle. This bigger one. There we go. And now got those all done. So I can get this controller housing back up where it was. Kind of push it up, push and wiggle. Gotta make sure this cord, there's a little slot inside the housing for the cord to go through here by my left hand. So we get that done, and I'll wiggle this thing back in. There we go. You just push it into the housing, and then I can add those two gold colored 1/4 inch screws. There's one. There's the second one. I'm going to put that little modular connector back in, that small one, lock it in, and put the power connector back on right there. Put the little box back on there. It's held in by one screw. I'm going to go ahead and close the door, and I'll press start and just see if it starts up. Yeah, there we go. So we're back to normal. So the problem was it just needed that new controller. So I'll put that. Okay, or add that screw back in. There we go. Okay, put the sound insulation back into place. Just push it in. Now put the kick panel back. Add the two 1/4 inch screws to hold that. Do the one on the left. And we are done.
Thanks so much for watching our video. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. We really appreciate that. We have a really nice video coming up for you right here that I think you'll enjoy. Very similar dealing with appliance repair. So thanks again for watching our video.